Greetings to our viewers from Insurance Institute of India and welcome to our 21st episode of INSEMILIE. Myself, Pradeep Sarkar, Principal College of Insurance, Insurance Institute of India, Kolkata. For the information of the viewer, today we have with us Mr. Devesh Srivastava, CMD of GIC Re, the Indian reinsurer. He will share his views and ideas on a variety of subjects. Sir, warm welcome to yet another episode of INSEMILIE. In fact, this is the 21st episode of short interviews of industry captains uploaded every fortnight on YouTube. After receiving blessings and guidance from you and Rajeshri Madam, who is now with IRDAI, this initiative has been very well appreciated by one and all. We have covered insurers, regulators, reinsurers, brokers, surveyors, and many others linked with the insurance ecosystem. Sir, GIC Re is the 10th largest global reinsurer with its presence abroad and having its own GIC 1947 syndicate at Lloyd's of London. Our viewers would be very happy to know the role and responsibilities of Indian reinsurer and the advantages and also any disadvantages that are being faced in operating as Indian reinsurer.
Namaskar again, sir. And namaskar to everyone. Thank you for inviting me for this INSEMILIE series. Yes, I do recall, sir, that when you had started, I had sent across my best wishes. And I'm very happy to see that you have covered quite a lot of ground since you started, and this is the 21st episode. So yes, indeed, we are the reinsurers to the nation right now. And we are also not 10th really, sir. We are now ranked 13th in the world by way of the written premium that we have. But still, yes, it puts us into the top category of reinsurers of the world. And in the same breath, I would also add that with such recognition comes great responsibility, especially the responsibility that we have towards India and to develop the sector in India. So GIC in its almost 50-year journey now, we will be starting our 50th year very soon. In its 50-year journey has always been rock solid behind the Indian non-life insurance industry. And now, of course, we are reinsurers in life as well. So we have seen a full cycle at a time when we were nationalized. The private companies were amalgamated into 4 non-life companies, which was, the subsidiaries of GIC. From there, the 3-decade journey of GIC till we come to 2000, 2001, when the sector had opened up again. So all the new entrants came in and GIC again held the hand of every private company and took them forward in their journey as they took baby steps. And now, of course, they are all a force to reckon with in their own right. So happy with the journey that has happened all this while, sir. And we are looking at the way things have panned out. We are even more, looking forward to the next decade and 2 decades where as the sector progresses, we will also progress with the sector, sir.
Thank you. It's a great journey, sir, for General Insurance Corporation of India, GIC Re. Sir, I think it's a matter of pride to have an Indian-owned syndicate in Lloyd's. Sir, what is the thought process behind setting up the same? And also, what, in your view, were turning points in the history of GIC Re, apart from setting up the syndicate?
Sir, syndicate at Lloyd's was a 30-year-old dream of GIC, which we had pursued, but with varying amount of success. So in the year 2013, we tried to, make a bid for a existing syndicate. That bid, we were almost there, yet we failed in the final lap. We could not make it. But the entire process was a tremendous amount of learning, sir, as to what is the syndicate all about, how does Lloyd's function, what are the benefits that can accrue to you. So that learning stood us in good stead. And then we realized that rather than buy out a syndicate, which is an expensive proposition by any standard, it is much better to set up your own syndicate. And when it is your own baby, you can mold it the way you wish to. So we realized that that is a much better route to take. But of course, it was a much more difficult route to take, because when you buy out a syndicate, you are just purchasing something off the shelf and you start from there. To set it up, it's like actually producing a baby, raising it through kindergarten, then to school, then through college life, and then till the time your child, your girl or boy gets a job and gets married or goes away. So the whole cycle is to be undergone. So it was a journey that turned out to be a labor of love. We made a lot of efforts with Lloyds, and finally we could set up the syndicate. It was a moment of immense joy. I mean, something that I cannot really express in words. When in December 2017, we got a letter from Lloyds that your syndicate 1947 has been approved. And of course, 1947 is the number we chose for our syndicate for very obvious reasons, because it was about Britain and India coming together yet again. And the most interesting part, I'm sure your viewers will find this very interesting as a small snippet, a piece of history, that the syndicate is located at exactly the same place where the East India Company was headquartered. So we are back from where we started. It was a great journey, sir. And the syndicate has really done well in these last 3-4 years of its existence, and is making very good progress in the London market as well.
Oh, it's a great journey. Really, it's a great journey, sir.
It's really a great journey, sir. I mean, still I get goosebumps when I think about what we have accomplished, because it was seeming to be an impossible task. It is not easy to get your own Lloyds syndicate. It's very, very difficult. There are too many barriers to be crossed. And that is why Lloyds has retained its flavor even after 350 years.
That is correct. That is correct. So it's really a great achievement on part of GIC Re.
Yes, so GIC is tremendously proud to have its own syndicate.
So we always talk about this pool, reinsurance pool or insurance pool. If you can please highlight some of the backgrounds of the pools and all these things for our benefit of the viewers.
Sure, sir. I mean, first, just a couple of lines about what a pool is all about. That generally a pool is set up when reinsurance capacity is not easily available or difficult to come by, or there are restraints there, or it's very restrictive. Then the way forward is to create a pool where everyone, obviously, as the name itself suggests, you pool in your resources and you create a capacity. Now, the first such thing happened after 9/11, when the attack on the WTC happened, and the terrorism cover that was granted across the world suddenly dried up. So India was left without any terrorism cover, and you had to have something, and no cover was available. So you had to do something. You had to do something very fast, and you had to do it in-house. That is when the concept of a terrorism pool was born. And in its almost 20-year journey now, it has held the market in good stead. It is done very well for the Indian non-life industry. And today it has a very sizable kitty on the basis of which it operates. So GIC, being the Indian reinsurer, was chosen as the manager to the pool, because you need to have a manager, and GIC had the expertise, being in the trade for a long while and also having its connections all over, and the trust that people have in GIC. So we were the automatic choice for a manager, and we have been a manager to the pool all this 2 decades and done well. So taking a cue from whatever GIC did in the terrorism pool, we also later got to manage the motor pools, then the other pools that were coming in, the declined risk pool of motor. Then we came up with the NatCat pool, because that was an international flavor, because there is this body called FAIR, Federation of Afro-Asian Insurers and Reinsurers. It's head office in Cairo, but it has about 100+ members, maybe many more, all across Asia and Africa. So it's a body where GIC has been one of the founding members. They thought about having a NatCat pool, and again GIC was the manager for it. Then we came on to the nuclear pool. When the nuclear deal was signed with the US, there was need to have a capacity for nuclear risks. Again, the nuclear pool was set up by India, and GIC was the natural choice for a manager to the pool. So that is the experience we carry behind us as far as the pools are concerned. We are good managers. We ensure that capacity is adequate, the prices are stable, and the market benefits out of it. So the pools is something that GIC is really happy to be part of, because you get this feeling of contributing something meaningful to the non-life industry.
Really, it's not manager, I should say, it is a leadership. It's a great leadership by General Insurance GIC Re at the same time. Sir, as we know that GIC is an IT driven company. So could we know about some of the technology initiatives and how that helped continuing of work even during these tough times of lockdown due to pandemic?
So GIC as a company has always taken a great amount of pride in being ahead of the curve for everything. I mean, since possibly because we trade with 160 countries across the world, we get to have a lot of inputs from many other countries who are doing some good work in some field or the other. So with that benefit that you have, you tend to get inputs, and these inputs you can utilize in your own working in the country. I mean, you take anything, be it the whistleblower policy, or I mean, even such small things. GIC has always been the pioneer in setting the trend. Similarly, for our reinsurance operations, we went on to the SAP platform long back. We were possibly one of the earlier ones to get onto the SAP platform. And that work has always progressed. We have tried to do better and better, because we do understand, and really that's one of our main thrust areas as well, that you're going forward, the way the world is changing so fast, IT will be your backbone for any operation that you have. And to have a robust IT system, you need to have the hardware and software that can deliver. And then you move on to things like paperless and to anything else and everything else that helps you always stay ahead of the curve again. In the pandemic that you're talking about, sir, yes, it was a challenge. In fact, when the lockdown happened, in the first 10 to 15 days, possibly we were also like the rest of the country and the rest of the world, much like headless chicken, not knowing what to do. But then the department rose to the occasion and people started work from home. And the work from home concept worked very well for us, simply because we, as I said, trade with 160 countries across the globe. So people who are handling the Japan desk could start their work early in the morning when it is late morning there in Japan, and people who were handling the US desk could, get on to their homes, at the homes with the US market long after the sun had set here in Bombay. So it worked very well. In fact, it gave us greater amount of efficiency as well. And since I mean, we are a Bombay-based company essentially, and when you take out commute from the life of a Bombayite, life becomes very, very palatable and something to look forward to. So it contributed a great deal to our functioning here in GIC, and we were happy with the way we managed things during the pandemic, sir. Very much.
Sir, as we know, COVID-19 pandemic has affected all business all over the world, and reinsurance is not an exception. Sir, in your view, what will be the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian insurance industry and also on the Indian reinsurer?
So COVID-19 has, I mean, of course, apart from being a pandemic, it also has a lot of connotations for, as we are seeing in the West, on the property insurance. Yeah. So a lot of insurance companies in the West, especially in US, across the Atlantic and in the mainland Europe as well, are demanding that business interruption claims be admitted, even in the absence of property damage, which is turning out to be a big blockbuster, so to say, in the sense that because this will mean a lot of capital outgo for reinsurers if such claims start getting paid. But yes, such claims are being entertained and we are seeing such trends. Also, the courts are giving judgments in favor. So the whole thing is, on a boil there, and it is going to result in big claims. As far as India is concerned, we had a very clear direction given by the GI Council saying that business interruption claims in the absence of property damage is not payable, period. So that was a big boon to us. But the point remains that that shows us a protection gap as well. That there are people who are possibly willing to buy that cover for business interruption in the absence of property damage that was not available, but now people may seek that cover. So that is something that is to be explored. That is something that would be, sought after and be provided by the insurance industry, even in India. And when you talk about health insurance, yes, we do agree that pandemic is something that happened once in a century. I mean, we last heard about the Spanish flu, but in between we did have things like SARS and others, which fortunately were contained. This one, of course, got out of hand, but then it shows that now with globalization happening at such a fast pace, if such a pandemic was to break out again in the near future, God forbid, it will be a matter of a very short period before it travels around the world, because it is now truly a global village. It is not that now people who are afflicted will not travel, therefore it will be localized. So these things are going to change in a big manner. And when that happens, you will have to have this protection gap that I spoke about filled in, which will give a lot of opportunities as well for people who are willing to pay for a cover. We did see that. For example, Wimbledon. Wimbledon always had this cover and they have got a claim also on this because they always preferred to pay premium for this extra cover.
So it has to, there were some positive as well as negative effect, both the way it has affected.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I mean, I think that is true for most of whatever happens in the world, that anything and everything has positives and negatives.
So there was another important development with the GIC. Amongst the PSU insurer and reinsurer, it was the first organization to see the partial disinvestment and listing. Could you know what all have changed in terms of business strategy, business management, public relation and regulatory reporting, and how GIC Re is managing all of them?
Absolutely, sir. I mean, as a 100% Government of India company, you are living in a cocooned existence because you're oblivious to whatever is going around in the world. But when you are listed on the stock exchange, everything suddenly changes. You are now open to far more scrutiny. There are far more number of shareholders who are asking you questions. In fact, after every account closing, we have investor calls in which investors ask a load of questions about your business, the way you are doing your thing, and they are really very educated investors as well. In fact, I just finished our investor call for a half-yearly closing about an hour ago. So you could see the amount of depth these people have, which is very good for us also. Now, one thing that typically came out of, I mean, since as I told you, we hold it after every quarterly closing. One thing very typically that came out quarter on quarter was that everyone expects us to make a profit in our business. That means in our operations, we have to make a profit. Now, you know that till date, the Indian insurance industry is largely dependent on the investment income. That's why we can have and we can sustain high claims ratio because we have investment income to bail us out. Investors are very clear that you have to start making profit in your operations. Now, this changes the entire way you have been doing business for the last 50 years by giving the top line a total miss. Because top line is absolute vanity. Possibly what really gets you into a sustainable mode is when you have a healthy bottom line. Similarly, GIC also, based on whatever our investors have been demanding of us, we have changed track. We are now totally onto a bottom line approach, and anything that we write must make sense, must make at least 1 rupee at the end of the day. If that is not happening, we are not writing that business. So this is the sea change that has happened in our business model, and this is what is we very strongly feel going to be the sustainable model going forward.
Really, sir, it has given a change in the concept of management as well, because there was pressure from the shareholders and others. So whole lot of changes in management has taken place. So nicely adapted by GIC. That is another important aspect. Sir, you are aware that Insurance Institute of India has been working in the area of insurance education and awareness creation for last 66 years. Your views on its functioning and ideas and directions for future would be valuable to us. So if you can give some ideas.
No, surely, sir. I mean, the insurance industry, Insurance Institute of India has really been doing a lot of good for the insurance industry by, I mean, the exams that you have of licentiate, associate and fellow is something that is very good for the insurance industry. I mean, I am myself a fellow and I'm so proud of being a fellow of the Insurance Institute of India that I really am happy to be part of it. And I flout it that I am a fellow of the Insurance Institute of India.
Really, it is we are thankful to you that you have spared your valuable times and sharing so much of information. So GIC Re will be celebrating its Foundation Day on 22nd November. Good wishes from Insurance Institute of India and from all the viewers to the Indian reinsurer GIC Re for a glorious future. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.